Welcome back, Weirds and Weeaboos, to the channel Division Doge. For today, I've got a few cards here. I had some ideas for more like shuffling into like your or your opponent's deck mechanics, and also further up the list, there's some more magic synergy. We might not be able to get to that in time, but first of all, now this is kind of out of order. The first one I'm actually supposed to be saying is Mirror Zombie. I guess I'll start with this one. Mirror Zombie. Sneaky, super rare, professional zombie. 4/15, bullseye, gravestone. When hurt, deal damage equal to the damage taken to the plant hero. When destroyed, shuffle 7 bad lucks into the plant hero's deck. Now, bad luck is a card that basically it's just simply you don't want to draw it because it doesn't do anything bad when you draw it, but it's a card that you basically don't want to use because it's just 5 sun, take 2 damage, draw a card. So, I mean, there's some use in that, but obviously the majority of that is just going to be, I don't want this card, and maybe if you've got like a full hand and you need to get rid of something or you're desperate to find something good and you're like late into the game with like enough health to afford it, you could use this card, but the point is this card is supposed to be, something you don't want to play. But it's in your hand now, and you can't take it out unless you spend the sun to play it. So yeah, it's obviously quite a bad thing to have. So this originally was going to be super rare the whole time, but the reason that this has been moved up is because it actually got reworked multiple times. Because at first it was a 2/04. And originally I was going to just make it shuffle 1 bad luck into your deck, but I thought that would be underpowered. And I thought, actually, Breaking a Mirror is supposed to give you 7 years bad luck. That people say it'll give you 7 years bad luck. So wouldn't it make more sense for it to give you 7 bad lucks? So I did that, but then I thought, well, that's kind of overpowered then. I guess I should make it, I don't know, a 2/11. But then I thought, nah, those stats are too low. It's got it makes it feel like the when hurt ability isn't useful. So in the end, I decided to give it the awkward price of 4, but I feel like it's fine again, just because this seems like a card that could be very powerful, which is why it's super rare. Although, if bad luck, it really depends a lot obviously of how much of a good card bad luck would be, like how good it is to shuffle bad lucks into your opponent's deck. Because it is something that's heavily based on chance, and on top of that, because this doesn't actually do anything bad to them, it just means that they don't get something good more, because, they don't draw a useful card. You could argue that it's not really going to do much for you. It is obvious. I obviously can't make a good judgment. I feel like it would probably be good enough. But considering the rarity of some of these cards that do have bad luck synergy, I am considering trying to trying to add a mechanic like in Hearthstone. They've got the things you can shuffle into your enemy's deck that are instantly casted when drawn, and they do bad things. I was thinking I could make an instant cast kind of thing, but I didn't want to try and do that without if like I don't feel like I need to, because it feels like something that doesn't belong in Heroes. Now, I don't think just because something feels like it doesn't belong in Heroes, that instantly means it shouldn't be done, because there are a few things that I thought didn't belong in Heroes. I didn't feel like Stompidon belonged in Heroes, and yet look at that, it really, really was quite a fun card. And although it did some bad things to the meta, that was just simply because it was a good card, and those things weren't just because like it was badly designed or anything. It was just maybe a little bit overpowered. I know you're going to be saying, "Oh, well, a little bit. It's ridiculously overpowered." But to be honest, Fry said this in one of his videos, and I completely agree with him. I think that people think Stompidon is overpowered because they don't play to counter Stompidon. They should actually try to counter Stompidon instead of whining. Well, I don't want to say whining. That's a bit of an aggressive stance. I don't want to be like... I can kind of see where you're coming from, to be fair. But you should look at how to beat the problem rather than complaining about the problem. Besides, it looks like you're getting your way anyway, because it's going to be a 4 cost. And as I said, 4 is a very awkward cost. But anyway, then there's Ladder Zombie, which is probably... I think this is the lowest rarity option for bad luck. This could be actually quite interesting though. Sneaky, uncommon, professional zombie, 2/2/2, armored 1. End of turn. If there isn't a ladder here, make a ladder here and lose armored 1. So this is a zombie from Plants vs Zombies 1, which you haven't seen ever actually, except for in Plants vs Zombies 1, and The ladder is a sneaky environment, professional environment. Two brains, so if they manage to bounce it somehow, I don't think the plants have a way of doing that yet, but if they added something that allows you to bounce environments for plants, um, then it would cost two brains to replay, or if you conjured this or something. Anyway, zombies here have overshoot equal to their attack. When a plant is played here, shuffle a bad luck into their deck. So if you don't get why that's there, it's kind of supposed to be like walking under a ladder is bad luck, and the plants are going to be under the ladder because the ladder's, lean up against. Kind of, you know what I mean. I was trying to struggling to kind of think how it would fit, and I thought that's the best way I could do it. I did want to try and fit like luck into this, um, to carry on the theme of luck. Then we got Relax. This is actually one of the last cards I did out of this little batch of luck cards, and well, this is the isn't even to do with the luck cards. I did this after I finished the luck cards, but so many of them got redesigned. Ladder Zombie was the only one that I didn't make any alterations to. Relax, Smarty, Rare, Trick, One Sun. Now I had this idea because originally a bad luck would not make you take 2 damage when you played it, but instead would empty your block meter. But I decided I wanted to do that as a consequence of playing a good luck, which you'll see in a moment. Although it is overall a good card to play, it would, as a small disadvantage, take a bit of your block meter. I didn't want both of them to be the same, so I changed it. But back when it used to be it emptied your block meter, that gave me the idea to do things where you can choose to empty your block meter for a reward. So this Smarty card, Relax, for 1 sun can draw you 2 cards, bearing in mind that it costs 3 sun to draw 2 cards. You get a 2 sun discount just for sacrificing 3 sections of your block meter, which might sound like it's overpowered, but you got to remember that 3 sun draw 2 cards, Flourish, is not a very good card, and I really wish it was, because I love cards like that, but they're just too expensive. And I don't think the solution is to make them flat out cheaper, because then they become too powerful. But I do think that the solution is to make a compromise for them to be able to get that value at a cheaper price. And this is a good compromise, I believe, especially because it's a 1-cost trick. If you get this on turn 1, you get to draw 2 cards straight away, and you don't have a block meter charge yet. So that, in case you're wondering, yes, that if you have no block meter charge for it to take away, then it will just draw you 2 cards anyway. So yeah. Also, you may think it's a bit overpowered because it's not enough of a, like, may think 3 block sections of the block meter isn't worth 2 sun, and I agree with you. But at the same time, you got to remember that Flourish is a common card and this is a rare. So that means that, like, this kind of has more value to it. Like, it should be a better card. No, not factually better, but it should overall be a better card. Also, it's in a different class to Flourish that's accustomed to card draw, so I feel like it just fits. Then there's Black Cat. This actually used to be a legendary, but I thought it was kind of going to be too difficult to try and make this a legendary, and I thought that it would probably just go too far. Like, I'd probably just end up I'd have to do something ridiculous to justify it. But originally it was a 1-3-1, but I decided to make it a 1-2-1 super rare, sneaky super rare magic pet zombies. You couldn't tell sneaky is going to be the class for this thing. 1-2-1. Before combat here, move to the right and shuffle a bad luck into their deck. So that's like a black cat crossing your path. Also, back before when it was legendary, as well as having 3 attack, it would have, when played, shuffle 2 bad lucks into their deck, so there'd be even more bad luck. But I'm gonna just skip over this card quickly so I can tell you why I didn't make this super rare. I was gonna make this other one that I'm about to show you super rare and this one legendary, but I thought that this one was more fitting of the legendary kind of status. I don't know. Snake Eyes, sneaky legendary professional party zombie, 4/5/3. When played, deal 2 damage to the plant hero for every bad luck in their deck. They draw a card for every good luck in their deck. When destroyed, shuffle 2 Snake Eyes into your deck. This is originally a 4/5/1, but I added the when destroyed, shuffle 2 Snake Eyes into your deck, which is a bad thing. So, I decided to give him a bit more of a stat boost. So, Snake Eyes, just in case you haven't seen him, I mean, you haven't seen it, but if you haven't read it already, is basically just like a bad luck, but for the zombies. So a 5 brain trick, and this one does empty their block meter and makes you draw a card. like the old bad luck did. So that's another reason why I changed the old bad luck, because it would make it different to this version of it, and I didn't want them both to be the exact same. So yeah, it gives you a card just like bad luck, two of them in fact when it dies, but overall you're getting pretty good stats overall, because attack is more important than health in most situations for its cost. And you're also getting the effectiveness of a flamenco zombie, and probably more if you've got a bad luck deck. Because you've got to remember that if they broke a mirror this game, that is 14 damage. Bearing in mind as well as that, at the very minimum, unless they use debuffs instead of anything else, which is the only debuffing cards they have are Kernel Pull and Water Balloons. Unless they use Kernel Pull or Water Balloons to entirely kill a 5 minion, or just debuff it, they would have to take at least 5 bullseye damage. So if you just played Mirror Zombie and then Snake Eyes, then you have guaranteed yourself, as long as they don't block the Snake Eyes attack, you've guaranteed yourself 19 damage, which is why this is legendary. In fact, I might make this a 5 cost. But Mirror Zombie does take a while to break. They probably won't want to break it, which is kind of why it's a gravestone, but still. There's a lot of like little extra things that still makes it so it probably won't be crazy. But if it was ridiculous, I'm open to nerfing this card. It all depends on whether bad luck would actually become a big thing and whether it actually become a good card. And to be honest, I really don't know the answer to that. It's really hard to tell for me. And we also have over here Happy Go Plucky. I'll make this the last one, because then we got all the luck based cards in this one. Happy Go Plucky is where the good luck comes in. There were going to be more cards like this, but I didn't have many ideas, and I thought I'd come back to it when I had more ideas. Solar, Rare, Leafy Trick, 2 Sun. Shuffle 4 good looks into your deck. Draw a card. So this is like basically, this is a So Magic Beans, but instead of getting Magic Beanstalks, you get Good Looks. And Good Looks are solar tricks that cost 1 sun and draw 2 cards and heal yourself for 5 health. But you'll lose 2 sections of your block meter. So yeah, those are my ideas for all these like shuffling based cards. And then up here we got some magic synergy, which oh, actually there's not that much. But I've got to end this video here anyway, so I'll see you next time.